You woke up this morning, brushed your teeth, checked the time, maybe even grabbed a quick bite of bread. Congratulations, you've already lived through an ancient Egyptian morning routine. Yeah, you heard that right. Egyptians were using toothpaste 5,000 years ago, before Rome, before Greece, before anyone else even thought about dental hygiene. And their version? It wasn't some minty fresh gel. It was a mix of rock salt, dried flowers, and get this, burnt eggshells and ox hooves. Sounds disgusting, but modern dentists tested it and said it actually works better than some commercial brands today. That's ancient innovation for you. But here's the real kicker. That's just the beginning. The Egyptians didn't just build pyramids. They built the foundations of modern life in ways that will shock you. You like your privacy? Ever locked your front door? The Egyptians invented the first lock and key mechanism, 2,000 years before the Romans copied it. Their locks were wooden, with a pin tumbler system that, if you're holding a house key right now, works almost exactly the same way today. Oh, and if you're wearing eyeliner, you're participating in a 6,000-year-old trend. The Egyptians lined their eyes with kohl, not just for looks, but because it actually helped prevent infections and shielded their eyes from the desert sun. In fact, the lead-based kohl might have even boosted their immune system. Fashion and function? They nailed it. But let's get into something even crazier, something you probably use every day without a second thought. The Egyptians didn't just write on stone, they created the first version of portable writing, papyrus, a thin, flexible, lightweight writing material. Sound familiar? It should. Because the word paper comes directly from papyrus. This was the first real step toward books, notebooks, newspapers, even the phone in your pocket. Without papyrus, we'd still be chiseling notes into rock. And speaking of things we take for granted, beer. The Egyptians didn't just drink it, they were obsessed with it. It was so essential to daily life that workers were literally paid in beer. Pyramid builders were given daily rations, and we're talking over a gallon a day. If that sounds excessive, remember that their beer was thick, nutritious, and full of calories, more like a meal than a drink. Imagine getting your paycheck in IPA. That's how ingrained beer was in Egyptian culture. Now, if you're watching this on a schedule, thank the Egyptians for that too. They invented the 365-day calendar. The entire way we track time today, our years, our months, even leap years, all of it is based on an Egyptian system first used over 4,000 years ago. They based it on the star Sirius and the flooding of the Nile, and without it, history's most powerful civilizations wouldn't have had a way to organize farming, events, or even taxes. And here's something that's really going to mess with your head. Your very words, the alphabet you're reading right now, might not exist without Egypt. Egyptian hieroglyphs inspired the first true alphabet. A group of traders working in the Sinai took those symbols, simplified them, and created the earliest phonetic writing system. From there, it spread to Phoenicians, then to the Greeks, then to Latin. So every time you type a message, sign your name, or read a book, you're touching a linguistic legacy that started with Egyptian scribes thousands of years ago. They also gave us something else, fashion that still holds up today. Egyptians were the first to master linen weaving, creating the lightweight, breathable fabric that's still a summer favorite. The Tarkan dress, over 5,000 years old, is the oldest known tailored garment. And sandals, they pioneered those too. The earliest known sandals, made of palm leaves and leather, were found in Egyptian tombs. Your flip-flops? Yeah, those are ancient tech. But wait, there's more. For all their towering pyramids and dusty tombs, the Egyptians also turned everyday life into a hotbed of invention. Beyond toothpaste, they rocked personal hygiene with shaved heads and wigs, practical and stylish in the desert heat. They recorded medical cures in scrolls that read like a prehistoric WebMD, herbal remedies, honey for wounds, even moldy bread as a proto-antibiotic. Their flair for entertainment was setting standards. Lively music played on harps and flutes, and professional dancers who turned every feast into a festival. Think your weekend party is wild? The Egyptians were jamming thousands of years before your Spotify playlists. And let's not forget their obsession with beauty and fragrance. They were expert perfumers, creating scented oils and balms that were so luxurious, Julius Caesar reportedly threw bottles of Egyptian perfume into crowds as gifts. Some of their ancient formulas were so prized that modern perfumers still try to recreate them today. But now, let's get to the biggest, most shocking invention of them all, the one you definitely use every single day. It's not toothpaste, it's not beer, it's not even writing, it's time itself. Before the Egyptians, time was vague. People just guessed at when to do things. But they gave us structure. They divided the day into 24 hours. They invented the first clocks, shadow clocks during the day, water clocks at night. These early devices were so accurate that they allowed priests to time rituals to the exact moment. And that division of time, it stuck. Today, every watch, every clock, every meeting you schedule, it all traces back to a few Egyptian engineers figuring out how to split the day into measurable chunks. And they didn't stop there. They engineered irrigation systems that controlled the flooding Nile, allowing them to farm year-round. They built planned cities with grid-like streets, setting the precedent for urban planning. They created board games like Senet, the precursor to modern gaming. Even the concept of surgical instruments, scalpels, forceps, and sutures, came from Egyptian medical advancements. So, next time you check the time, brush your teeth, sign your name, or grab a beer, just remember, you're living in the shadow of a civilization that existed 5,000 years ago. The pharaohs may be gone, but their inventions, they're everywhere. And the real question is, what else have we inherited from the ancients that we haven't even realized yet? Let's talk about it in the comments.